In this podcast, I had that amazing opportunity to interview one of my good friends, Virginia cop Preston. Uh, I met him several years ago, and what makes him stand out to me is he has a SpongeBob tattoo on his leg. And I guess, I don't know, just makes it memorable, I guess. And that being said, I've been able to watch him progress and rise through the ranks as his career has gone on. And I'm just super proud of the guy. That being said, he also started this amazing free shooting competition for cops that's called the Battle of the Badges. They started traveling all over the country now, and it's what's amazing about it is he's been able to do it for free. So giving a little bit of competition to cops, and it also making them better shooters. I think it's a great thing. It's a noble cause, and I'm proud of where he's came from and what he's doing to make the profession better. Check this podcast out and let me know what you think. So you got to ask yourself, why do you want to do this? What keeps you motivated to stay proactive and get bad guys off the street?
The facts is a big cannon against a little tiny gun of opinions, because we've all heard people give us their opinions.
Let's talk about how easy it is to get narcotics in this country.
Once they're in this country, anywhere within 2 days, the drugs will be in our cities.
Because we know knowledge is power.
Well, today on Beyond the Barrel, I'm here with Preston. Preston is a cop in Montgomery County, Virginia, and recently, for the past couple of years, started Battle of the Badges. Is that correct?
That's it.
Cool. It's a shooting competition that he is now taking across the country, and that's kind of why we're here. That's the main focus that I wanted to come and have him on to tell me what he's doing with that kind of stuff. But as always, we always want to start off like childhood. Where'd you grow up? What were your, I don't know, extracurricular activities outside of anything else? Like what drew you to law enforcement, family, anything along those lines? And then prior to getting into this, what were you doing that kind of kept your mind off law enforcement when you're off duty?
Yeah, so I was born in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of where I am now. I was moved here to Montgomery County when I was like 2 years old. So it's pretty much this area is all I've ever really known. Growing up, I was homeschooled up until middle school. I played basketball as like my main extra thing I did growing up. So I was playing basketball and I wanted to play like school ball instead of just like rec league or some type of like travel team. So I went to a little high school out in this little rural area of our county. Played basketball through middle school, through high school. While I did that, this kind of leads, later on with Battle of the Badges, but I started shooting firearms competitively with my dad when I was like 13 or 14. So I did that, and I played basketball throughout like middle school and high school. Enjoyed both of them a ton. And then throughout high school, I didn't really have much of an idea of what I wanted to do after. I knew I knew I didn't like school. I didn't know that. So I didn't enjoy school much at all. Just kind of did what most high school boys do that don't like school, just kind of joked around the whole time and got in a little bit of trouble here and there. And then there was this program, actually, I get made fun of it for it, but it's called Books to Badges. It was basically like this scholarship that you interviewed with the sheriff and the chiefs in the area. If they selected you, they helped pay for your community college, allowed you to intern with them. And then hopefully once you get your associate's degree, you just basically come right on to the sheriff's office or the police department, whoever you're interning with, go through the academy. That whole thing. So I tried to get that scholarship. I did get that scholarship. So I interned with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office here in Virginia for about a year and a half. I did 3 semesters of school. Again, did not enjoy it at all. Community college?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. New River Community College is a little college. Did 3 semesters there. Again, just school isn't my thing. So I didn't enjoy it. So after 3 semesters, I went ahead and went through the hiring process, got selected, went to the academy in November. Well, I started the academy January of 2019, graduated in June of 2019. Started a night shift in 2019, and I've been there ever since. So,
Nice. Any
throughout the
siblings?
time, yeah, I've got a brother who's actually a cop.
Okay.
So he was working at the same. He got hired at the sheriff's office first. He was in like our civil department, so like courthouse security kind of stuff. And then when I got hired, we realized that there was a policy that siblings can't work in the same division. So he wanted to get out to the road on the work patrol work, but because I was there, he wasn't able to do it at Montgomery. So he went to a county south of us called Pulaski, worked the road there for a year and a half, 2 years. Wanted to be closer to where family was and work kind of in the same jurisdiction that I was in. So he started working at a little town inside of our county called Christiansburg Police Department. So for actually like 4 years of my career, just until recently I got promoted, we worked the same rotation, same night shift. So he was stopping cars. A lot of times I'd be out with him. If I'm stopping cars, a lot of times he's out with me. Or if a hot call comes out in the town, we'll roll with them and help them out. So that was pretty cool.
Anyone else in your family, dad, anyone else that like wanted or that inspired you to be a cop, or was it just?
No, it was like I didn't really know what to do. I wanted to go in the military. Originally was kind of my idea. And then just being naive and young, my thought was, well, there's not a whole lot going on really in the military, I feel like, at this time. So, which was in 2018. So I was like, that'd be kind of boring. I didn't want to like just go to a base for 4 years, and I don't know how it all works because I've never been in the military. But
Right,
in my
yeah.
mind, I was like, I don't want to just go to a base for 4 years and do absolutely nothing. Like, I'm going to join, like, let's go do stuff, So
No, I get you.
I was like, this has got to be the next best thing. So that's what I picked. While I've been there, we have a part-time SWAT team. So I joined that pretty early on. Became the assistant team leader of the team, and then recently just became the team leader of the team. Got promoted to sergeant like 6 months ago. So
Nice.
newly promoted. So that's been a good time. But the whole time doing patrol work, I feel like we all fall into a path of things that we enjoy doing, which I just kind of got hooked on looking for drugs, looking for some dope. So I don't know what it was about it. I just kind of felt like every time, you stop a car and like that's your idea is to get dope. It's kind of like a game for me. I looked at it like sometimes they win, sometimes we win. There's a dog available, there's not a dog available. All right, no dog, you won this time, whatever the case may be. So I just enjoyed that aspect. And so for the past, whole time I've been a cop, that's basically what I did was just hunt dope every night that I went to work.
Supportive administration, then I'm guessing.
Very, very supportive. They don't necessarily like they'll send us to interdiction schools and they're not really an agency. I feel like a lot of times that, they'll pat you on the back, but like they're not going to get mad at you for going out and getting into stuff.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to, but at the same time, they're not going to force you to go out and try to get into stuff. It's like, if that's what you do, then they support you and go out there and get it. So
I think that's what most departments should. I don't know. The ones I see that work the best is like the ones that if you don't, there's like no expectations of how much work you have to do. So there's guys that are out there getting it, but in order to make it work right, there's guys that just are very content with taking their calls and going from call to call and not necessarily doing much proactivity. And I think in order to make patrol work the right way or be effective, that's kind of how you have to be, because if everyone's trying to get into shit, then no one's taking care of the calls for service but I think you get a nice even balance between the both.
Yeah, I think a good even balance is good because, I mean, how I look at it too is if, our shift is 8 people, right? So there's a lieutenant, a sergeant, then 6 deputies. If we're all trying to get dope and we're all out on stops, well, if I have a car that I'm about to get dope on and I need somebody to back me up so I can search this, then like that's not good, right? So we don't want to be pulling from the towns around us. We just want our own people to be able to help us out, you know? So
Yes.
you need those guys and gals that are good at taking calls, you know?
Right.
And
No,
two, if
and
they're
enjoy it.
really, yeah, and enjoy it, because if they're really good at it, then they know, like, hey, Preston's up on the interstate, you know, looking for dope. He got a deer crash in his area. I'll go take that deer crash so he can continue doing what he's doing, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Like you need those kind of people, and those people are awesome. I love those people.
Yeah. Same.
So that's big time. They support you if you do it. They support you if you don't. You know, it's not something that's forced. And two, like you were saying, like if it's forced, I don't want to say it's not authentic, but if it's forced, you have to enjoy it, right? Like you have to enjoy going out and getting drugs, going out and getting DUIs. And if you don't enjoy it, you're just forced to go out and do it, then it's not fun.
No, and I think that's a lot of the worst videos we see with law enforcement interactions. It's like like I have to be active, I have to do something even though I don't want to, and I didn't take enough time to invest in myself to understand like what I can and can't do. Like, you know, even like the First Amendment auditors and those types of things. I feel like those are the guys that are and girls that are being put in those positions that are very content with just answering calls for service. They're not, you know, but if you force them into things that they don't want to do, it turns into like, I don't know, just really negative situations in general. And probably a lot of animosity and one unhappy person can destroy the whole camaraderie of like the crew or the shift or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And like how I look at it, for me, if I was in that situation, if my agency was super ticket driven and they're forcing me to go out and write tickets, well, I don't want to go out and write tickets. I don't want to go out and write speeding tickets. I don't want to write speeding tickets to good people. Like
Right.
I don't want to do that, right? So if I'm being forced to do that, I'm probably not going to be the most respectful officer in that situation anyway, because I'm being forced to do this. So I just think it's a lose-lose situation all around. If agencies or even supervisors are forcing people to get out and do stuff that they don't want to do. Now, I think there's a difference between encouraging and forcing. I think encouraging is good, you know, because ultimately, like, I don't want the people that I work with to just sit in a Walmart parking lot all night long and watch Netflix, right? Like,
Agreed.
I would prefer to encourage you to find something that you enjoy doing and you're passionate about and go and chase that, whatever it may be. It might be dope, might be DUIs, might be community policing. It might be calls for service. You know, if you have a super soft spot in your heart for victims of domestic violence, like whatever the case may be, I would encourage that officer to find what it is that they enjoy and what they get gratification from, and just be the best cop at that as you can be.
No, yeah, I completely agree there. I think that there's so many, I guess, like niche aspects of law enforcement that I would much prefer you to find the niche that you fit in and excel in that than being the guy that 10 years on is unhappy because all you are doing now is sitting in a parking lot going from call to call. And I feel like if you find the niche, what makes you happy, if none of that other stuff makes you happy, there's got to be something in law enforcement that makes you happy. And finding that will make your career better, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think finding it is harder than what people realize. I think that's one thing that, like, I've noticed in law enforcement, at least the agency that I'm at, is in other agencies around, people try to force into stuff. For example, like, you know, they've been on the road for 3 years and maybe a specialized unit comes available or this, that, and the other. And they just go all in for it. And I'm like, you've been a cop for 3 years. In Virginia, you got to be 25 years of service and 50 years old to get to sort of pull in your full retirement. Like, you get something like that in your first 3 years. Okay, well, where you go from there, you got to do that for 22 more years. You know, so like, and I know you can, you know, bounce around this, that, and the other, but I do feel like people try to like force something too quick in law enforcement, and they don't just take the time to enjoy where they're at for a couple of years and just find out what it is that they truly enjoy within the job.
I think it's all, for whatever reason, it's the mindset of like the push to get out of patrol. And I feel like you're not, like, patrol's the foundation of all law enforcement. If we don't have good patrol officers, and if you're leaving within 3 years, like me personally, I didn't feel comfortable until I was like at least 5 years, and there's still
Right.
I'm learning every day, you know. So like
Yeah.
3 years on the job and just working patrol, like I mean, you still got years left where you are still learning that. So now, like God forbid, you get a sheriff that doesn't want you in that position, he throws you back in patrol. Now you got 15 years on. You only have 3 years of patrol, like, and you're still learning patrol. Like that's going to be detrimental and like to your happiness and to the guys and girls you work with. So
Oh,
I think 5 years, 7 years is like the time that maybe trying to, and I know young guys and girls are going to hate that comment, but I feel like 5 years in patrol, if you get on like a part-time assignment within that, 3 to 5 years, cool, but you're still doing and learning patrol. I don't know. You leave too soon, coming back will be hard. And I don't know. It could be detrimental to your career.
yeah, I agree 100% because I think that, well, I think cops go through like stages almost where like the first year, they're honestly, I feel like are just terrified of messing up, right? Like they don't want to screw something up, which I completely get. Like I hate screwing things up, right? And then, they start getting a rhythm and they get super, super confident and think that they are just super good at what they do. And then there's a call or somebody that they deal with that kind of like puts them in their place. And they have that kind of egotistical mindset of being better than other people. And I have found out for me that like I went through all of that of like, especially dealing with like trying to get into dope and like the low level stuff, like the user stuff. Like for the first couple years, like once, I was hitting stuff pretty regularly and regularly is like every other night or so, nothing crazy. I kind of like fell into this trap of I'm better than they are because I don't do drugs, honestly. And it took me from 3 to like 5 years, this 2 year spell of like, instead of just finding their drugs and taking them to jail, like find their drugs, talk about their drugs, and then drop them off at the jail. Like that 3 to 5 year mark for me, I took the time to like find their drugs, take them to the jail, and then talk to them like a person and not talking about their addiction, talking about their families, what they do for a living, what they wanted to do for a living. And I realized that a lot of these people that have these addictions, like they are the exact same person as I am. They are just dealing with something that I'm not. And I feel like it took me that amount of time, the 3 year to 5 year span to understand that. And now it makes doing like low level local drug user, like interdiction work so much more enjoyable because you can be, for me, I can be more of a person to them. And because the truth of it is like you got a better chance of actually helping somebody that's a user, having a 10-minute conversation with them in your front seat and being a human than just throwing a charge on them and putting them in jail for a couple hours before they bond out.
Yeah,
That's
no.
how I look at it.
How old were? I think like the empathy aspect is what you're talking about, and I think that
Yes.
I don't know how old you were when you got hired, but I feel like in time in life in general, you become more empathetic. So if you I don't know when you got hired, but if you were in your young 20s and you got hired,
I was 20.
yeah. So like you don't have this full perspective and understanding of life, and then if you're learning that as a cop, you almost see the negative side. So I understand that like learning curve. I got hired when I was 25, and I still wasn't that empathetic, and it took me time to learn it as well. But yeah, like I think empathy goes a long way, and if you're working that small city local type interdiction, those people will remember that forever. So when you might need something from them, or you start working maybe narcs, those people are going to be the ones that are most willing to come have a conversation with you about someone that's more important than them having a user amount of dope. But if you're just the dick cop, like that's going nowhere. That's getting you nothing in life.
Nowhere.
Or nothing. If you're known as the dick, it's pretty much like you're gonna have a miserable career. I feel like
Miserable. And I think if you jump off a patrol, back to like the start of this, if you jump off a patrol so soon, I don't think you really get the chance to have that outlook change on, in the job, because that translates with not only dope work, but your calls for service. Like, that translates to the domestic violence victim that you've been out to the same house, the same trailer, the same apartment 7 times. You've arrested the same guy every single time, and you have that conversation. Why aren't you, leaving? And if you don't have empathy for that person to actually take the time and understand where they're coming from and how much harder it's so easy to say, or what's all I'm trying to look for? It's harder to do what I'm trying to tell them to do, or the advice I'm giving them. It's harder to do than it is just to say.
Yeah.
And when you really take the time to just be a human and listen to them, it makes sense of like, I get it. Like, this is way harder than just leave them. And,
You mix some kids into that, and or even like they, one of them doesn't have a job and they're supported by the other one, and like, okay, I'll leave. Where do you want me? You want me to sleep under the bridge, man? Like so many other factors. Like, and as a young cop without empathy, and I'm not saying all young cops don't have empathy. Some of them are great at it, but like, I think you need that life experience. You need to communicate with people. You need to see everyone else through like their eyes and not through your, very small worlded eyes, and that will help you have more empathy. And as time goes on, you're going to see more and more people, and I think that you become more empathetic as a cop. Who's tired of beard oil that overpromises and underdelivers? We have partnered with Semper Suave, the best oil in the game. Keeps you looking great on duty and off duty. Kind of hides my gray a little bit. Keeps me looking a little fresh and clean in between trips to the barbershop. Not only is it military owned, but it's also law enforcement owned. So we are full supporters of Semper Suave. And if you want to support them too, use the code BEYOND15 for 15% off. They love us. They're going to love you just the same.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And I think it's super important, because if you don't hit that point, then you're just gonna have a negative outlook on every single call, every single traffic stop, every single warrant search, every single thing you go to. You're gonna have a negative impact on it. You're gonna become a negative person. It's gonna impact your family, and it's just not the road that I think cops need to be going down.
Yeah, and you almost look at, in those situations, it's like they almost look at it as like the law says this, it's black and white, and we both know that there's a huge gray area, and that empathy comes in that gray area. So if you're looking at things as bad person, good person, like your entire career, like that's going to be a long ass career, because we deal with more, I guess, bad people than we do good people, on a daily basis. So if you're looking at society as all bad people, like I couldn't even imagine how I don't know. I'd be pretty depressed, pretty angry at the world.
Yeah, it would be horrible. It'd be terrible. Yeah.
So you said that you're on the SWAT team. You guys have a part-time?
Part-time, yeah. So we have a part-time team.
When you went into law enforcement, was that some of your aspirations? Is that something that you just being a gun guy, I guess, in general, was that something that you were striving to, or is it just something that piqued your interest once you were already in?
Yeah, so being a gun guy, it definitely it kind of had my interest peaked. And then actually when I started, before coming to cop, I was like, yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Like, I'd really enjoy it. I think it'd be really, really cool. And then once I got hired at the sheriff's office, and I kind of took a year or so to actually, I don't say get to know the people on the team, but like just get to know get to know the people that were on the team at the time. I quickly was like, I'm not going to be a part of this. They were just those, like, our agency does not pay us extra money to be on the team. Our call outs, our training is not overtime. It's comp time. So it is literally like you are volunteering to do this, basically, which to some people is absolutely crazy. And the people that think it's actually crazy, like, I get it. Like, I guess part of us is a little crazy, but a lot of the people, and I say a lot of people, there are a handful of people on the team at the time that same reason people become firearm instructors, same reason they do any of this stuff. They do it for the t-shirt, and I call them soft bodies. They did not prioritize physical fitness. And I was like, I am not associating myself with these people. And then slowly, as another year or year and a half went on, some of those people had came off the team. And I was like, okay, like I think this would be a good time for me to try to do this. And two, like if I want our team to change in a positive way, then somebody needs to be on the team to help it change in a positive way, right? Like there were people on the team that wanted the same things that I wanted. And, with those people leaving, if I can get on and have the same ideas that they have and the same goals and aspirations to make our team better, then let's combine forces and let's do this thing. So once a couple of the softer bodies decided to step down and walk away, I feel like that was the time and the opportunity to hop on it and do it. So
Is that a multi-agency team, or is that just your department?
just our department.
Okay.
Just our department. And we don't have any like crazy call out numbers or anything. I mean, we're not like, an every week team where we're getting called out. We do go through like spurts where it's like 1 week we have 3, and then the next 2 months we don't have any. I just feel like that's how it goes probably in most part-time team.
Right.
Most part-time teams probably have that same kind of thing where, they'll have a week where they'll have 3 or 4 call outs, then they'll have 2 months where they have nothing, or they'll have 1 or 2 call outs a month for 6 months. It just depends on the clientele.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I was on our part-time team. We have a multi-agency team around us, and maybe for almost 5 years before I got my dog. So like, trying to think, like 2000, about 2 years on, I got on it, and that was again, that's the same with us. Like it was comp time, but me now having 18 years on the job, having so much comp time build up, it's a good thing. Like at the time you're looking at it, I look at it as just an investment because we've got raises since then and all kinds of things. So now I'm like, oh cool. Well, like I went in and banked up all this comp time at this rate, and now we're getting paid this. So I'm like, wait, it's kind of a win. So
for sure.
You just have to have some desire to do it. If you don't have the desire to do it, I feel like comp time's not going to be very enticing to you.
Yeah, I agree. And there has to be, the comp time I don't even really care about the comp time. I think it's more or less you hear the quote, and I think a lot of law enforcement quotes are kind of cheesy, but you do hear the quote a lot of times of like, if your family was the one in need, like, are you in the shape and do you have the ability like of being a cop? Like, do you want that? What cop do you want to respond? Right?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be somebody like you who is in good physical shape? You take training seriously. You try to get as much training as possible, or the cop that doesn't do any of those things. So, I felt like, physical fitness was something that I cared about. I tried to get as many trainings as I could. So I felt like I was in a good position to make an impact and make a difference in that role.
Were you able to put in like a physical standard or anything like that? Do you guys have anything like that?
Yeah, we do 8 hours. They have to log 8 hours of PT a month. So I keep up with those hours. And a lot of them do more than that, but 8 hours is kind of if a month's 4 weeks, that's 2 hour workouts a week. Right. So that shouldn't be that hard to achieve. It should be actually really easy to achieve. But
I think you cops in general, we put all this, I don't know, you put a badge and a gun on it. And I think that at the bare minimum, you should probably be in the gym 5 days a week doing something, even at the bare minimum, just walking for an hour. I don't know, like something, you can't, like you just said, like, who do you want to show up at your house? Do you, and I don't, me personally, I want to defend my own house. I don't want to rely on anyone. So sure. if you're a cop and you're looking at it and you can't defend your own house and you're relying on other people, I don't know, it's a bad situation to be in.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree. 5 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever the case may be. And like you said, even if it's just going for a walk, a jog, like you can do some push-ups, you can do some squats, you can do some burpees, you can do these things that will help you. And I think that, you know, thank God most cops haven't been tested to where they need their physical fitness, I would say, but some have. And I would say that when that day does come, for cops that don't prioritize their physical fitness, they're going to wish that they did. And after that day or that event, I would say it's probably going to be something that's going to be prioritized from that point on. So
I would hope.
I would hope. I would hope as well. But, you know, it's.
How big is your agency?
We have, so I think we have roughly 130-ish sworn. But so we're a sheriff's office, but we have like our civil department, which encompasses like serving court paper subpoenas and courthouse security. But we've got patrol. We have our own jail. We have investigations, our support services, which incorporate like school resource officers and that kind of thing. So it's about 130 sworn.
Are you guys
Ish.
all go to the police academy, or do the jailers and the other positions not?
So the court security guys and gals and the jailers, they go to, so jailers go like a jail school. Court security also goes to the jail school with incorporating like a court security aspect to it. Everybody else goes to a road, like our road school. So school resource officers, patrol, obviously. Basically, if you're going to be driving a marked patrol car in your duties, you're going to be going to a road school. That's how I look at it. And investigations. Now, I mean, they're all on marks, but you can't really get to investigations unless you're on the road for a certain amount of time anyway. So
This is a two-part question. So did you pick midnights, and did you want to stay on them even though you had more time on? And then why did that change when you got promoted?
So I wanted midnights just because I was like being young and dumb and just ready to rock and roll. I figured that's going to be where the most fun is, right?
Yeah.
And then two answers actually for why I've stayed so long. One is just because like I come into work and it's the guys and gals I work with and my supervisor, it's both my sergeant, my lieutenant, or just my sergeant, just my lieutenant. Like that is it. It is wonderful, and nothing against any of my, you know, important people, my brass, so to say, because they're all fantastic, all super supportive. I mean, they are fantastic, but it's definitely like I don't have to see them every day, right? So like that is nice, just being able to come into night shift and just see the same people that I'll always be seeing. And then actually, until being promoted 6 months ago, I was with the same crew for the whole entire time I've worked there. And my supervisors were fantastic. My sergeant, my lieutenant, both were incredible supervisors. And kind of like, you know, sergeant got lieutenant and stayed there, and like new sergeants came, and we had a new lieutenant come, and all of them were great. But just like what we were talking about, like prioritizing fitness, prioritizing training, everybody on the shift that I was on did that. And so it was just like these guys and gals are all super squared away. They take their training seriously. They prioritize physical fitness. I just trusted them so much. And I was like, I'm not going to give this up. Like, I know I go to a call with this person or that person. I know what they're going to do. I know how they're going to do it. I know what they're going to handle. Like, I just knew it, and they knew me. And we had the same group for pretty much the same group for 5 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And too, like with that, like it allowed like our families to get super close to each other. It was just a true, like, I know people say like, you know, cops, big family, this, that, and the other. Like, I would argue it's actually not, but that shift, like that group of us truly was like just family. We just got so close to one another, and it was, I mean, cookouts, you know,
That's cool.
going to shift mates, you know, seeing his kids or like seeing like my kids, you know, like, so.
I think law enforcement as a whole, the majority of it is like a big dysfunctional family, but it's still at some point you have, we all have. I have idiots in my family. Just,
Yeah.
there's idiots in law enforcement. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, that's
Yeah.
kind of how I look at it.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. I do think that, there's a family aspect to it. But it is a dysfunctional family for sure.
But that's cool that you guys had such a close knit group with not idiots. Like that's
No,
awesome.
it was so cool. It was awesome.
Then why did you, when you took promotion, did you have to come off that? Is that why there's not a spot available there?
So there actually was a spot available. So the sergeant on the shift that I was on, the sergeant leaving. So the sergeant that was on my shift, he was going to move to daylight, and there was 2 sergeants available. It was for both night shifts, and I got one of them, and one of the guys on daylight got the other. And I don't know how they decided it, but instead of moving just one of us, they moved 2 of us. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But the group I'm with now are fantastic. I mean, it's kind of like this, like the group I'm with now, they are fantastic in I don't say a different way. Just everybody's different. Everybody as a cop's different. And like these guys and these gals, like they just go to work, man. It's super impressive. Like there's awesome. One guy on shift, man, that like every single night somebody's going to jail. Like whether it's DUI or it's drugs, like every single night, man. And they show up to calls and they just handle them. Like it makes my job extremely easy.
That's awesome.
And the other group was the same way. So I'm not like talking bad about one or the other.
Yeah,
they're 2 different groups, and this group is they're both fantastic groups, and I'm happy with where I'm at. Like, and that was another thing that like not ever being moved and staying with the same group the whole entire time. Like there was some like I was a little bit nervous about it. But after I got there and I was there for a week or 2, I was like, oh, this is wonderful. This is perfect. Like,
so that's what we do at our agency. If you're in patrol, every 2 years you get mixed and matched. So you move you around. So basically, like we just went to lieutenants this year. They used to be like turn sergeants, but
yeah,
now the lieutenants, it's like whoever has the most seniority gets to pick his sergeant. And then I don't know if it's a snake, but like you get to pick your guys, kind of. So guys and girls. So like it's kind of.
That's kind of cool.
At least, like I feel like if I'm a lieutenant and I want specific guys or girls based on my policing philosophies, then I'm going to strive to get them. And so I feel like you could, kind of have the people that you want. And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they might be in before, but you're working with the people that you want to work with because they have some attribute that you like.
Yeah, and 2, being like. The slick sleeve guy, if that's what you're going to call him, or the person that doesn't have the rank, like that would make me feel good because I know I'm working for somebody that picked me.
That wanted me, yeah.
Shows me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm working for my lieutenant because he wants me to.
Yep.
Like that would make me feel great. That's an awesome idea. That's cool.
And then I would almost on the back end of that, I would be afraid to let him down. You picked me, like no, I can't. No, I can't mess up at all. Like
exactly.
You picked me, like now I have these expectations on me that were like, yep, like I'm not going to let you down.
For sure. Yeah, dude, that's cool. I like that idea.
What do you do outside of law enforcement in general, like when you're off duty?
Dude, I like to go to the range. I do a lot of like shooting stuff. Love working out. I'm a member of one of our just local gyms here. Go 5-6 days a week. If I'm off, if it's my weekend off, I get 6 days. If it's not my weekend off, I'll get 5, but I'll still do something here at the house on like a Saturday or something, take Sundays off. But a lot of it's working out, trying to get to the range as much as I can. And I just had a son recently he's 10 months old now, or almost 10 months old. So just been soaking that up, man. That's been crazy.
So you're on 12s, I'm guessing, based on what you.
Yeah, 12s.
Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I love it.
You get a lot of time off with your kid, I'm guessing now too.
A lot of time off, man, and like I just feel like the difference between 8 and 12 is like, I mean, it is another 4 hours, but in like law enforcement realm, like for us, or at least for me, like it allows me to get into work, like how my day is going to go for my 12 hours, allows me to get into work. I'm going to go through roll call, go over a couple of stuff that maybe might be passed down from admin that we have to cover, whatever the case may be. We're going to grab dinner, break some bread together, eat food, answer calls as they're coming in. And then, 11, 12 o'clock comes, we're out in the roads, pulling over cars, looking for stuff, DUIs, drugs, whatever the case may be. Then I feel like that extra 4 hours, we come back to the office at 3 or 4. The extra 4 hours just gives us that extra amount of time to just get the paperwork done. I just feel like 8 hours, I've never worked 8. I just feel like 8 hours would be super crammed with
busy, super
stuff.
busy.
Yeah, it would just be super busy. I just feel like it wouldn't give us a lot of time to really try to hunt things and get out there and look.
You were talking about shit. I don't know where my mind went. I usually have a notepad. I forgot to take stuff. That's bad on me. The hell was I going to say? Gym.
Range. 10-month-old.
10-month-old. Yeah. I don't remember where my fucking mind was going.
12s.
I got it. So
hit me.
With your 12s, are you able to go? Do you have guys have a gym at your PD, and are you able to go take an hour off where you can work out?
Yep. So we have a gym. Our sheriff's office is broken into. I think we have 4 floors. We have like a 5th one. That's like a penthouse or something, what they call it, where like you can do some like force on force training up there. But yeah, our 3rd floor, we have a gym. One of the businesses here in the town, when the gym shut down, and they donated a ton of equipment. So we have our gym. Yeah, if they want to take an hour, 2 hours to go work out on
That's
shift.
awesome.
100%. I don't care what time it is. If you don't have a call and you want to go lift, go lift.
That's cool. Yeah, that's kind of we went to 12s like 2 years ago, and theoretically, in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of how, like, if you wanted to go to work out for an hour, based on calls and everything. But yeah, as long as they weren't busy, they were given that opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of the guys on my shift and gal, I got one gal. They usually go up there around. I think they're insane, but they go up around like 4:30. 5 a.m. after. Yeah, dude. I'm like, how are you even get a good workout? Like, this is insane. There's no way I could get a good workout. Like, I gotta wake up and just go do it fresh. There's no way I could work for 9 hours, and that's even if they slept all day.
Right.
Most of them, working night shift. It's like, yeah, I woke up at 1 o'clock today, or whatever the case may be. So they've been up for 15 hours, and I'm like. 14 hours. I'm like, you guys are insane.
And if I did get a good workout, and it would probably keep me up like past like when I get off work. So then I would be like, I don't know, have like that adrenaline dump and all that other stuff, my blood flowing. I'm like, when I get off midnights, I would want to just go pass out like immediately. And I don't think working out that late would be conducive to that.
No, not at all. I agree, because, and two, like they're all, let's say they work out at 4:30. At 4, they're slamming some type of pre-workout or a C4 or a rain or something. I'm like, dude, you guys are crazy, but it's what they do. And I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. They're getting in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm
about that.
Exactly. I was like, I can't have it both ways, where I say that you need to be in working out. I can't pick and choose what time you do it. So if that makes you happy, as long as you're getting in, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Same. Do not care.
So let's tell the world how we met.
Yeah, dude. Do you want to do it? You want me to do it?
All right. So I'll tell a little bit of my story that I know of, and then you can fill in the blanks if there's any missing. But I know that you're friends with my boy Brad initially, right? And then I came. Yeah. You guys were all like in the hotel lobby or whatever, and I came down, and the what's so memorable is that you have a SpongeBob tattoo on your thigh.
I do.
Not this
Yeah.
upper thigh, like kind of around like the knee area, but yeah, on his
Yeah,
thigh.
it's about 1.5 inches above the kneecap.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like I thought you were gonna bust my balls to say like upper thigh. I'm like, no, it's like definitely low. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
definitely
dude,
low.
like that's how I remember you. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, that's how we met. There's
Yeah, I've
probably
got
some holes I'm missing in that story, but yeah.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, we're at a training, hanging out with Brad, dude, just having a great time. Show up, and of course, Brad being Brad, dude, sponge. Look at the tattoo, and it just. I have a picture of me, you, and Brad with my like pants leg all the way up. And you guys like pointing at sponge, dude. It's
And
awesome.
there's a story behind that though. Isn't it with a brother or a friend or something too?
Yeah, so my brother's name is my brother's a cop. Well, I only have one brother. So my brother, his name's Patrick, and dude, I don't know why. We just as kids, it's the cartoon we watched, like SpongeBob. That's what we did. We're at the beach one year. We were all out on the beach all day, and got back up, and we're like, dude, tattoos? We're like, yeah, what are we doing? It's I got SpongeBob on the hall monitor because it's kind of fitting, I guess, and he got Patrick Star.
That's awesome.
So, in the same spot, lower thigh area.
Does he still have
So,
it, or does he cover it up or anything?
No, he's got it.
That's
He's
awesome.
got it. Yeah, man. So since then, I think after that, I came to one of your schools in North Carolina. Was it after that or before that?
It had to be after. It
had to be.
We had at the conference that we were talking about that I had only taught maybe like, I don't know, not very many classes at the time because like it was like 2019
Really?
when I first started teaching, then COVID happened. So I mean, I can probably like my first class was in New Jersey. I was in West Virginia. Yeah, I didn't go to North Carolina until after COVID.
Yeah, then it would have been after that. Yeah. I remember I was running your POS system, selling your merch for you.
I see. I do remember that now. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, man. Cool times, man. Cool times. It's crazy.
It seems
Crazy.
like it was yesterday, but it was 5-6 years ago, right? 4 years?
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 or 6. So then I felt like for 2 years after that, I was texting you all the time trying to get cheat codes on stuff.
Just talking to people. Just talking to people. That's the cheat code.
I was doing wrong. I was like, dude, I suck at this, man.
Just talk. Just talk.
Just talk. That's it.
Then how long ago did you, well, the main reason that that I kind of wanted to have you on is I want you to plug your whatever you're doing now with the
Battle of the Badges?
Yeah, Battle of the Badges.
Yeah.
Or is it a company? Is it nonprofit? What is it?
So it is a company.
Okay.
It's under Team One Network, which is the company in Fredericksburg. Also, I'm talking about Fredericksburg, Virginia. So the whole story behind that in this, from where it started, and just I'll go through it all. But in my law enforcement career, I became a firearms instructor, and I quickly realized that was one of the roughest things that I've ever done. Because again, same thing with SWAT. There's guys that do it just for the t-shirt that says firearms instructor on the back, and they have zero business instructing firearms at all. Like zero business doing it.
When you were before you got into that, when you would go to the range, were you listening to some of the instructors and were you like knowing what you knew shooting forever? Were you like, he's telling these people the wrong shit?
Yeah, like in my mind, I'm like, no, like that's stupid and doesn't make sense. And what pissed me off the most is, and this was in pretty much any firearms instructor, whatever you want to call it, not realm, but any school I was going through of like they were teaching some level of firearms. There was like 1 or 2 schools that I went to that was fantastic, and they did exactly what I'm about to say, but they would be like, all right, here's the drill you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. They'd walk you through it, and then they'd be like, all right, let's do it. And then you would go up and do it, and you would do something minutely wrong, which what you were doing in the first place was just not, it just didn't make a lot of sense. But I get it, whatever. It's the drill they picked. It is what it is. and I can't, have an example off the top of my head, but if I can think of something while I'm going through this, or when I remember, I'll bring it up. But you would do the drill, and then they just ream you for the minute things that you did wrong in the drill that they're asking you to do, and they never demoed it, right? So it was just like, here's what you do, first shooter up, let's do it. And my philosophy is like, I want to tell you what I expect. I'm going to show you what I expect because I want to show you that I can do it. And I'm never going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself, right? It's like a theory that should be behind everything, whether it's firearms or whatever the case may be. So they're having you do something that they're chewing you out for and get mad at you for, and you leave pissed off. And the only thing that was ever in my mind was like, I would love to see you do it. I'm like, as an instructor, I would love to see you do it because I know you could not do it. So just going through all of that, I remember going through the academy, and I actually went through a different academy. The agency, my agency sent me to an academy we're a part of, and now we're part of a different one. So the academy we're part of now, they do a pretty good job on the firearm. The guy that's in charge of that, he is really, really squared away. He's really, really good. Stays up to date with everything, in my opinion. So I was going through that, and again, I'm like, dude, this stuff, these people, like, what are they talking about? Like, this just doesn't make any sense. And coming from like the competitive side of shooting, I was like, dude, some of the stuff that they're saying is just like, this is stupid. They want to like throw the word tactical on everything. And like, tactically, this is this, and tactically, this is that. I'm like, all right, well, dude, if you can't like just shoot what you're aiming at, then in my opinion, like whatever tactically you're doing, besides maybe preventing you from getting shot, isn't really solving any issues here. Because you just like, if you suck, then sorry, like you can't hit what you're aiming at, right? So like that was a whole entire thing, frustrated me forever. So I became a firearms instructor, again, kind of in the realm of, if you want to see a difference, then who's better off to make the difference than you, right? So I started that, became a firearms instructor. After like a year of doing that, year and a half, I kind of got into like an assistant firearms instructor role kind of thing. And the person that was in charge of it left. The new guy that took it over completely is really squared away. We can bounce ideas back and forth. And so we kind of like work as a team, but he's ultimately in charge of it. Like, I'm not going to take that away from him. He's in charge of it. So we did that within our agency, and I wanted to bring light to competitive shooting, because in law enforcement, it seems to be like this curse. Like, competitive shooting is just bad habits, this, that, and the other. It's not good. So I was like, let me show like the benefits of competitive shooting, and how can I do this? So in 2022, there was a local club range that is just down the road from basically where we live. It's in our county. I talked to the president of the club. This is where like I've just shot competitively my whole entire life. They do like local matches every month. I was like, hey, what is your thoughts on basically like what we're doing here? Like our local matches, but it's for cops only. It's free. They show up. I was like, maybe we can do some type of like, they get a free lunch, and then we can like get some sponsors to do some giveaways. So he was like, I love the idea. Let me know what you need. So that's what we did. The idea behind it was in 2022, it was going to be, in my eyes, and my idea was, we'll do this thing once a year. It'll be for local cops. They'll come out, they'll see the benefits of competitive shooting, and then it'll push them to go to their local matches and compete and reap the benefits. And how it worked, it was November 4th, 2022. So it was about 42 degrees and it pissed rain. So I had 39 guys, and there was a couple gals show up, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly. But how it worked was 6 total stages. You would shoot 3. So 6 stages, you're broken up into 6 squads. So, 7 or 8 guys go here, 7 or 8 there, 7 or 8 there, and you shot 3 of them. So you'd get done with this stage, you'd rotate to the next one, you'd shoot this one, you'd rotate to the next one, shoot this one, until you shot 3. Then once everybody shot 3, we broke for lunch. So I want to incorporate like a camaraderie aspect of it. So like cops, kind of just like the conference we went to, right? Like the training was great, but also just meeting new cops and talking to cops is also pretty fun and pretty cool.
Yep.
So I want to incorporate that aspect. So we broke for lunch, which was completely provided to them for free. Then after lunch, they go shoot their final 3 stages. I do awards and giveaways, which some sponsorships gave some stuff to give away. And that was actually huge because I truly believe that if the chance as a cop, like the cops would not have showed up, or some of them would not have showed up if there was not a chance to win something for free. Like that motivated them to maybe possibly, like I gave away some guns and some stuff like that from like a local gun shop. So at least in their mind, they're like, okay, I've got a chance to get a gun raffled off, right, and win a gun. So I think it motivated some people to come out. And then I did it the second year, and I went from 39 till I think it was 81 or 82 officers that came out in 2023. And I went from, in 2022, I went from 39 that were just all local to 81. It was like 17 different agencies, and I had, I think, 3 different states. So I know like a guy from Ohio, North Carolina, and Maryland showed up.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm reaching other states. Like I definitely wasn't expecting that to happen. So that one kind of like really is where things took off because I try to incorporate stuff in the event or in the stages that like law enforcement would see. So a lot of times like cops don't get to shoot in and around vehicles. So I had a local tow company called All Call Towing. I asked them if they would like sponsor the event by giving me some cars that we can basically like, hey, when you come to pick them back up, they're going to be destroyed. Like there's gonna be bullet holes in them. Glass is gonna be busted out. They're like, yeah, we're down. That sounds awesome. So they gave me some cars. So I was able to incorporate stuff like that. And then in 2024 is when Team One Network, which have been absolutely incredible, they reached out and they're like, hey, like we are all about this. We've been wanting to get in like the competitive shooting realm, and we would love to sponsor the event. Like, what do you need? So I had a meeting. I went to Fredericksburg, had a sit down meeting with them, and discuss kind of like, you know, this year I did this year I did this. This year I want to like incorporate these things. Like, yeah, we can help provide all, you know, those things. They paid for Mission Barbecue to cater the event that year. So they did a ton of stuff. I had 119 officers that year. It was 39 different agencies, 9 different states. So it was really, really starting to like blow up in ways that like I was like, I wasn't expecting this, but it's cool. So let's just keep rocking and rolling. And then after that, we had another meeting, myself and Team One Network. We had another meeting between us of like, hey, like when we originally talked, they asked me like what my 5-year goal was. And I was like, I want to take this thing like cross country. Like I like to do 4, 5, 6 of them a year, going, you know, wherever I can go, different states kind of thing. Like, okay, like, so this year we're going to sponsor you. So yeah, roger that. So after the 2024 event, we had our meeting again, and they're like, let's try this thing, dude. Let's take it on the road. And so I'm not like ashamed of it, but basically how we figured it, again, like there's a lot of logistics that go behind it, insurances, LLCs, and all this stuff that, you know, I needed a lot of help with. So we combined forces. I'm not afraid to say it. I basically sold the event to them, and then I worked for them to run it. Is how on paper it made the most sense for me and to accomplish the goal that I wanted to accomplish.
Nice.
So that's the, you know, the decision that we made. And so this year, Blackhawk is our title sponsor. So huge shout out to them. Literally, like this year, like we're doing 4 events. None of these events would be possible without their support. They have been absolutely incredible. So huge shout out to them. But I did my first one this year, May 28th in Pennsylvania. In Templeton, it's north of Pittsburgh, probably 45 minutes or so, 30 minutes. It was a great event. For the first one on the road, we are all super, super happy with it. It absolutely tsunamied the whole entire time. So there was that. It was like 60 degrees, 55, 60, and it tsunamied the whole time. And we had 97 officers show up. So the first one, away from home, 97 show up. I was super, super pleased with those numbers, but it went absolutely awesome. It's been a ride. It's been cool. And I'm just pumped
Where are you
to
going next?
see where it goes next. So my next one's in Virginia, 2 weeks from Saturday. So I'm like two and a half weeks out, July 12th. It's completely full with 200 cops signed up.
Damn.
And I've got probably 4 to 6 on a wait list waiting on people to drop out so that they can join in. It's going to be massive, man.
Is it still free to law enforcement?
It's still free to law enforcement.
That's cool.
And we could not do it without our sponsors. That's what I'm saying. Like Blackhawk is big time. Like the support that they have for law enforcement is insane. Like they are so crucial in this event that like I cannot thank them enough. So that's why they're our title sponsor. So
that's amazing. What do you have everything planned out for the rest of the year, or is it?
Yep. So we have Virginia, July 12th. 200 cops already signed up. It filled up so quick, especially being like home base. Yeah. All the local people are like, yeah, we got to get in this thing. 200 cops signed up for that one. We have Texas coming up in September 13th is Texas. We are kicking off. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called the ILEFI conference. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of law enforcement names are just massive. So ILEFI stands for International Law Enforcement Firearms Instructor Association.
Gotcha.
Huge. Yeah. So we're gonna kick off that conference. So the conference is Sunday through Friday. Our event's going to be on Saturday. I'm in Houston, Texas. There's 160 cops, I think, signed up right now for that one.
What are you topping out on? Are all of them 200 max?
200 max. Yeah. If I can get a range big enough, I could probably do more. But that's kind of my biggest hurdle with numbers is a range big enough to hold more stages. So if I could bump up from like 6 stages to 10, then I could bring more people in because there's less just standing around. And then you got to think, all right, well, 200 cops, I have to plan to park 200 cars. So parking is also an absolute hurdle to get over. Now, granted, if four cops are coming to Virginia from South Carolina, they're from the same agency. They're probably riding together, right? So like there is some of that where if 200 show up, there's probably not gonna be 200 cars, but I kind of have to plan for 200 cars.
Right.
And then we're gonna go to Palm Beach, Florida in November 15th, I believe, is Palm Beach, Florida. Which I'm pumped, man. Florida's going to be an awesome one too. Texas, they're all going to be great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know Florida, I'm trying to make sure the date's correct. I know Florida, the range I'm going to in Texas and the range, November 15th. The range in Texas and the range in Florida, they both have live shoot houses. So one of the stages will be inside the live shoot house. So it's going to be pretty sweet.
How many, sorry, I guess, I don't know if I'm giving you the right title, but instructors do you have when you have that many people?
So I run 6 like main range officers. So one per stage because like there's only, if there's 6 stages live, there's only 6 people shooting, right? So it's like a one at a time kind of deal. So that one safety officer is with that shooter throughout the whole entire course of fire until that shooter's finished. And then the next one steps up and they kind of just rotate around, right? But I also have like volunteers out there helping out and pretty much everybody that is a volunteer or help keeping score, they are a range safety officer in some aspect. Like they've either shot competitively a whole lot, or they are a firearms instructor at an agency, something of that nature. So, and we always have like the Pennsylvania one, we had 2 paramedics.
Nice.
The Virginia one, we have our Montgomery County Fire EMS. They bring an ambulance out. So, we take every precaution that we can. Safety is number one. We all show up with a certain number of holes, and I want to make sure we all leave with that same amount of holes, right? So safety is huge, but
Is this pistol and rifle, shotgun?
So it's mainly pistol. We do incorporate like a pickup gun. Like Benelli was a big sponsor for us, so we incorporated the Pennsylvania one. We incorporated a Benelli shotgun. So they shot some steel targets with that. So we will like incorporate a pickup gun. I like the idea of like some type of like 2-gun, like pistol rifle, but being on the job, I wanted to make it like a competitive shooting event, which it is, but I wanted to make it law enforcement, I don't say friendly, but realistic to law enforcement officers in a way. And dude, I don't know about you, but whether it's a hot call or it's a traffic stop, there is not a lot of times, truthfully, that I'm breaking out a rifle.
Yeah, I mean, the only time that I guess in patrol working midnights, sometimes I would have my rifle on my passenger seat just in case something. But yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I can't think of me ever, unless it was like something that was like super hot, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think of active shooter, barricade, or something like subject where we're kind of just gonna surround the house and wait for the SWAT team, something along those lines. I guess maybe where I could prep it leading into it, and I don't have to be there immediately. But like, yeah, you're right. In the grand scheme of things, it's pretty rare.
I feel like, and that's kind of how like my idea was. I feel like grand scheme of things, mostly it's going to be pistol is what most of us are. I mean, it's on our side. So that's what I'd like to see them train with the most. So, and the competition part of it, I cannot think of something like you talk about, like when you go to these trainings and stuff, like I've been to like some schools that are like, this is like a stress shoot is what they call it or something. And like, they try to make it stressful by maybe like hollering at you or something. But like, I don't think that's very stressful. Like you're just hollering at me. But I'll tell you what else is stressful is go shoot a competition where your score matters, how quickly you do it, and how accurately you do it. And you are being compared to like other people,
your peers,
and now your peers, and now put 24 of your peers behind you watching you. Because if you mess up, you know what they're going to do because they're your buddies and they're going to make fun of you. Just like if you watch your buddy mess up, you're going to make fun of them, right? Like we're cops. That's what we do. If there's one thing we're good at, we are good at making fun of each other in some realm, right? And that is stressful. I cannot think of another way to incorporate more stress for cops in a shooting environment than shooting competitively. There's no other thing you can compare it to, in my personal opinion.
Is it all moving and shooting, or is there?
Yeah. So it basically how it works is like you'll start at this position, and then there's like kind of boxes or we call them fault lines kind of laid out where they go to these positions, but it's lateral movement, left to right, forward, backwards, all of it. Targets that are moving, like you might hit like an activator and then an up down pops up where like the target will disappear or it's just swinging at you kind of thing. We had one target one year that like ran straight at you, then fell when it got 6 feet away from you kind of thing. So it's not the normal, you're on a line with 15 other people and you're just shooting a stationary target and you're stepping off the X and saying stop police and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty legit stuff, man. Pretty legit.
Oh, yeah, most of our shooting, we have very young, eager firearms guys, and it's all moving, shooting. We have to have some proficiency based on the state standard, but that's from like the 15 and 25. It's still timed, but like the actual like they call it the combat stuff. Like that's all reloads, dummy rounds, moving, shooting, like all that stuff. But that's still cool. Stationary target, but we are constantly moving, which they implemented maybe 2 or 3 years ago, which was a huge learning curve. But it makes the most sense, and I love it. It's the most practical.
It's the most practical because whether you've been in an OIS or not, like I can promise you, you're going to be moving Like it's gonna happen unless you are behind like a solid piece of cover and you're able to use that piece of cover. But if you're on a traffic stop, right, and you walk up to a window and you start taking rounds, you're not gonna stay right there.
The triangle formulation or whatever they were.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
Like
thinking about it,
you're moving.
yeah, even thinking about it, like the way that I don't know. Back in the day that they would teach it, I'm just like now seeing all this stuff come out. I'm like, why? Like, where was the mindset then? Like, was it that you thought that they would have such bad aim that they couldn't hit you? Like, I don't know, because it's just crazy. We made ourselves so big. I feel like,
Yeah.
just looking back at the academy, like we made ourselves huge as we're aiming. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like for us, like before changes were made, it was the same with anything in law enforcement. I feel like that's how we've always done it, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was no progression of how can we change our training to make it more realistic and what we actually face. And at the last event I did, like the things that I set up, truthfully, like you have to have the materials to do it, but it's not really hard to like come up with some like little mini scenario. And I told them that, like, if you're an instructor and you're somebody that can set these things up, like go back to your agency and do it. Like set these stages up, set these scenarios up, and run them and see how quickly people, like you're good shooters, see how quickly they just all training wheels fall off and they just completely go to shit, basically. Because if you don't do it, then you don't understand it,
No, I completely agree. No, I love what you're doing, man. Where do you see the future of that?
I'd like to continue like doing what I'm doing, taking it, around the country. I'd like to see doing 4 this year. I'd like to see 4 to 6 eventually. I think that would be pretty sweet. I think what would be really, really cool if we really got the support, we were able to do it. I would love to do like 8 and then do like a national championship somewhere. So like how that would work is like if we did 8, you take the top 10 shooters from each event. And now if we did 8, you take the top 10. Now we have 80 of the top 10. And like that's the national championship. Now all those guys and gals compete against each other. I think that would be sweet to do.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
And we're constantly evolving. We're constantly changing. We all believe that keeping it free for law enforcement is fantastic. But at the end of the day, like we know we're not going to make money off of it. It is what it is. We're not going to become rich off of it. But you do have to break even. Like we can't just be losing money, right? So we're constantly changing, constantly evolving. It might get to the point where we might have to start charging some sort of small fee. But if we're able to keep it free, we're going to keep it free as long as possible, and we're able to do that with our sponsorships. So awesome. that is the biggest thing right now is locking in sponsorships, and we've got some great ones. I mean, Point Blank is a fantastic one. EOTech has been great. Sound Off Signal, they're fantastic. But I mean, Blackhawk, man, I'm telling you, this is not happening without them. Their support has been absolutely insane.
That's awesome.
So I'm super, super excited about them.
And you don't have to go down cost, but are these ranges free to you?
So we provide a range sponsorship. So we have a sponsorship packet. Okay. So inside that sponsorship packet, if it is a range sponsor letting us come out there for free, which every range that we are going to this year is a range sponsor, and they're letting us come out there for free, then we provide them with certain benefits, right? It's all in our sponsorship agreement as far as what you guys get for what you guys are giving us. We always say with our sponsorships, it has to be a win-win. We have to obviously win, and they obviously have to win. Like if we both aren't winning, then it's just not going to work.
No, I agree.
So
that's awesome.
That's been huge.
And the new company that you've partnered with, do they offer paid training? Like, what do they do?
Yeah, so that's all they do is law enforcement training across the country. So they do like red dot instructor certifications. They do breaching schools. They do ballistic shield schools. They do armor schools, LPVO schools. They do all of this, all these schools across the country. They travel everywhere, and they actually do some international stuff as well. And that's how, you know, it's X amount of money for this school, X amount of money for that school. And they do run 20, 25 students a class, I believe, is about what they do. I think last year they did 100 classes
Oh, wow.
last year. Yeah. So, and they're fantastic. And too, if I would have happened to have partnered up with them, like this whole national thing this year, just it's not possible. It's not
That's to
happening.
say you have a lot of that. Do they do a lot of the back end stuff, like finding the range and that kind of avenue?
They do a ton of that stuff. They have a ton of connections. Like the Pennsylvania one and the Virginia one are the only two this year that like I made the range connection. Obviously, the Virginia one is like
Private.
where it's been at, but well, it's actually at the sheriff's office I work for. It's at their range this year, but like the Pennsylvania one, I made that connection. But like the Texas and Florida one, that's all them. They made that connection. They handle so much of the logistic stuff that I just truthfully can't comprehend unless I did it, you know. But or they showed me how to do it, I could do it. But they crush, dude.
That's
Like
awesome.
I could not have asked for a better group of people to partner up with. They absolutely crush.
Are they former cops? Current cops?
The owner of the company, he's a former cop. The guy Rob, he was Marine Corps, and then Katie, who I work with, she is the daughter of the owner of the company. So it's kind of like a family business too, man,
Nice.
which is
That's
cool.
cool.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
there's this family aspect of it that, like, now that I'm a part of them, it's like I've been almost brought into the family role. It's been awesome.
Very
It's
cool.
been huge, truthfully.
Where can they find you at? Social media wise, website wise?
Yeah. So website www.the-battleofthebadges.com. Facebook is the Battle of the Badges. Instagram is at _Battle of the Badges. And on our website, we've got phone number, email on there, but anything, my email is Preston at the-battleofthebadges.com or info at the-battleofthebadges.com. Any questions people have, any concerns, sponsorship questions, anything like that, I'd be more than happy to talk to anyone. As you know, social media, for whatever reason, seems to be, well, two things. It's huge on, you know, marketing and getting things out, but it seems to also be tremendously hard to grow social media if it involves any type of firearms. So that's been
Yeah,
something
you
we've been
get
struggling
banned
with.
real quick.
Yeah, dude, you just get shadow banned immediately. So, you know, that kind of thing has been tough, but dude, we pump out some pretty sweet videos too. So anybody watching,
Yeah, is that all them or is that you?
that is a guy. So you know the guy that did Michael Saul's, you know the guy that did
Yeah, he's cool.
the video.
Yeah,
He's the one doing it, dude.
really. No,
Yeah,
he's
dude.
good. I saw his number. I was actually contemplating, based on the conference that we have coming up, I was kind of seeing maybe if you would swing on up to Myrtle Beach during that and just kind of, I don't need him there every day, but maybe, you know, capture some cool moments for Summit or whatever, because I mean he does some good work.
He's crushes, dude. He's incredible. So that's our video guy. And some of the videos, man, are that he puts together are insane. I mean,
Even
awesome.
during that, even during that class, he was telling me that he loves doing gun videos and stuff.
Yeah, so
he
shoots. Yeah, he shoots competitively. So like he knows the angles, he knows everything. You know, he's perfect for the job.
How'd you guys hook up? I'm just curious now.
He does all of Team One Network's videography stuff. So it was kind of like a package deal almost.
Nice, very cool.
Let's call it that. I don't know if I should call it that, but yeah, like Team 1 was like, hey, we need Battle of the Badges done. You gonna come do it? And he was like, yeah. So he's
Very
out
cool.
there, and he's awesome. And
Yeah.
two, like, just an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's super chill.
Super chill too. Super chill too. He's wonderful.
Is there anything else you want to push? We always end the podcast with one question, but I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anything out on your end.
I would say that with Battle of the Badges, the competition's important, but the camaraderie is just as important. Being able to go to an event and meet, 119, 100 other cops from around the country, and just be able to socialize and talk to them. We just released a video and it hit the nail on the head. Like, you are going through this stage and you're thinking about how you want to do it, and you ask the guy beside you how they're going to do it, and they're going to tell you. There is no, I make a comment in the beginning, or I try to, like, that egotistic SWAT cop wearing a medium shirt, like, that's not welcome here. We're here to help each other. Yeah, we're competing against one another, but tomorrow we're on the same team, right? So the camaraderie aspect of it is huge. And as far as law enforcement goes, I try to do the best that I can to help make an impact in the world of law enforcement. I think, getting officers proficient in firearms, what could save their life one day, is one way. And I always try to touch on some type of, this is just me and a conviction that I have, but I always try to touch on some type of mental health aspect of it as well, man. I don't know the statistics, but there's just as much, if not more, cops dying by suicide than they are in the line of duty. And if that's not evidence of an issue, then I don't know what else is. So my phone number's on the website, and anybody listen right now that needs to talk, I'm your guy.
Awesome, man. That's cool. That's very selfless of you. So very grateful that we are friends, man. But
yeah, dude.
We always end with one question. So we teach for Justice Academy. What is your definition of justice?
Definition of justice, dude. Wow, that is a deep question. Sheesh. I'd like to have known that before we started. Definition of justice. My definition of justice is, now, are we talking in law enforcement, right? Just in, like,
in life.
In life.
You can go wherever you want with it, man.
All right. I like that. I like a little free realm here. Let's see here. My definition of justice is somebody receiving the appropriate punishment for a wrongful action that they do in a manner that is respectful and still honors them as a person.
I like it.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I think that, justice needs to be served, and, you do something that deserves a punishment, you need to be punished. But just because you did something that deserves a punishment doesn't mean you need to be disrespected throughout your justice system. You deserve respect. You're still a human being, and you should be treated as such.
I like it, man. Well, I appreciate you. And then going forward, if you ever need anything, you want to come on again, you want whatever, we'll have you, or tag us in social media, and I'll continue to push your stuff, man. But I'm very grateful for you.
Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate you having me on, and grateful to know you and to be friends. It's been a good time, and hopefully we'll be talking again here soon.
For sure, bro.
All right,
Later, man.
Later, brother.